one of the things that I found out that you have the foundation of your mind. After that, you start to know what to do though during your practice meditation, and you have done walking meditation, which is first time like very uncomfortable, but after that, as my observing, you start to walk slower, smoother, and full of observation. So that's why I want you to talk a little bit about your progress in your meditation practice in this 1.5 week to staying in a novice monk.
Okay. So I would say about like meditation, like it's incredibly hard. I think that's the first thing I would say about it. Like, obviously we spend a lot of time working on meditating, but also working on meditation techniques and honing our mind. But, I'm still very much, I think, a beginner, right? And I'm like starting to develop that mental fortitude and concentration. Okay. In terms of progress, right? On the first day, I was like really scattered, and I also, in a sense, didn't know what to expect out of meditation. Like, sort of, there's this idea in the West that when you're meditating, your mind is like clear, like you're not thinking of anything, right? So I remember I asked you, like, is it okay that I'm like thinking about things? And we talked about like, yes, like it's okay to have thoughts, and thoughts are a good thing when you're meditating because you're addressing underlying sentiments that are there, right? Things that are sort of not at the forefront of our mind when we're busy, doing things, but that still exist and linger. So meditation is a good opportunity to tackle those issues and understand ourselves better. And the main tool, I felt like kind of like a tool that we use, that we talked about to address these thoughts, is thinking about cause and effect, right? And dividing cause into two groups of desires, right? The selfish desires and the selfless desires, which is like the desires to help others out of generosity. So sort of when I'm meditating now and I'm a bit more experienced, I'm not looking at thoughts as like distractions, but instead like kind of problems that I can dissect while I'm meditating, thinking about the cause and effect. What is driving these thoughts? Are they, maybe worldly desires, things like that. So it's a good spot for me to sort of pause, reflect, and understand my myself better.
What's about the beats that I give you? How does that work to build up your concentration? Is it help in some point?
Yes. Okay. So I love the beads because I like math, so I like counting in general. Right. But yeah, no. So with the beads, I thought it was like it's not just like we're counting infinite, right? There's like a technique, right? We go to 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8, and so on, right? So there's a method to it, and it's like repeatable, and there's layers of concentration. So I remember like my first time counting, it's like sort of, even though you're focused on the numbers, you can still wander a bit, right? But then I started to picture the numbers in my mind as I'm counting, to sort of increase my focus.
Yes.
Right, that when I'm saying the number 5 in my head, yes,
Number 5.
yes, it's like a in like 5 in white text on a black background.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that's exactly what I'm thinking of when I'm
Right.
counting. Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, for a while, your mind start to being here and now.
Yeah.
And that's what you're able to use this healthy mind or less distraction mind to control, or kind of using it to analyze the cause and effect, and not just think about this and then jump to the next, like never end.
Yeah.
That is no mindfulness.
Yeah.
After you start to build up your concentrating, and it's help, right, to have mindfulness to have to analyze this thought, where it's come from, or how to end this pattern of thinking, not to keep repeat them again.
Yeah, I'll add like a very like concrete example of that. Like when I was first meditating, right?
Yes.
I in like 1 minute can go through like 10 thoughts, 10 different thoughts. I'm like jumping around, right?
Yes.
But after the counting, and I'm getting more proficient at counting, after I'm done counting, it's really just like one thought, right? One thought that's there. And it again, like back to the cause and effect idea. It's a lot easier to, think about one thought deeply and come to a greater solution than it is for 10 thoughts, right? So that's kind of a clear example of how the different techniques we're implementing is sort of growing. Yeah. Okay, so for some background on chanting. So the chanting book I use it has English translations, but it is incredibly hard to read the, you read the like you're chanting in Pali and you're reading it in English at the same time, right? So that's pretty difficult. So what I usually do is I will go back at a later point and read through like, okay, like what am I actually saying? Right?
Yes.
So in my first few days, like chanting was just sort of okay, I'm here, like we're together, we're doing this,
Yes.
right? Like I'm not really sure exactly what's going on, but I'm here, right? But then as I kind of read the meaning of everything more, I sort of like understood the underlying message with each chanting. So, and there's important lessons in each, and I think that's the main takeaway for me for chanting. And so first is that like we have the chanting before every meal.
Yes.
Like, and there's I read that and it was like interesting. Like, it's sort of the chanting in Buddhism is promoting this lifestyle of discipline, right? That we have to be within our means and be like respectful to our own bodies, right? So, yeah, that's one meaning that I found from the chanting. And then the other one is like some of the verses are directly from the Pali Canon.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I find most interesting, because I love reading theology, like, like reading Bible, reading, all sorts of holy books and philosophy. And the one that sticks out to me most is the one about like suffering, dukkasa, dukkasa, right? All of those verses. And it's the Buddha sort of talking about this idea that suffering is like part of life. And yeah, so
Birth, old age.
aging, birth, aging, and death. Yes, all those are all inadvertently sad, because we talked about like, when we are born, from that day on we are basically just dying, right? Because so that is aging, right?
Aging.
It's the slow death that we're experiencing. And then death itself is sad, not only to us because of our, loss of life. We aren't able to enjoy the company of others anymore, but others aren't able to enjoy the company of us as well. So this sort of like, dual message between that death is sadness, right? So in most of the meaning I derive out of chanting comes from reading the verses in my own time, which is when we are not together. But I I love I love chanting as well, because everyone is together and it's sort of like it's like a bonding experience,
Flower from it's saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like you feel focused.
yes, you do feel very focused. Yeah,
Like gathering your mind to focus on your tone, focus on your listening, how you're going to
pronunciation,
pronunciation.
yeah, all that. And
Yeah.
we sort of talked about this before, but like this idea of like chanting wouldn't be as impactful to all of us if we were doing it individually, right? Because when we are sort of together, right, everyone wants to, sort of contribute, right? Whereas if we're alone, like it's very easy to get lazy with, oh, do I have to oh, I have to switch posture, do, chanting, bowing posture, things like that. But when we're together, everyone's like putting in more effort. So chanting becomes more meaningful as a group in that sense.
And you experience eating food on the alms bowl.
Yeah.
You think you can quit weight when you become a novice monk to live only 2 meals a day?
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So there's like so before I was gonna become a monk,
Yes.
everyone was very convinced that I was gonna lose weight. So, everyone's betting that, oh, is he gonna lose 5 pounds? Is he gonna lose more than 5 pounds? All of this. And I was like, well, I don't know, probably more. But then I get here and the spread of food every day. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not losing weight. I'm gaining weight. Yeah. But
What do you see from Thai Buddhists serve monks like as best as they can, like to make sure that they have like enough food to eat every day? What do you see from these sorts of things that
okay, so I think like sort of two things, right? You definitely feel a sense of generosity and community from the people who are donating and making it possible for monks to do their practice, right? But then there's also like this sense of community we develop not necessarily with the donors but as monks ourselves, right? Like eating is one of the few times like we can all get together and talk and you know um like especially at breakfast, like people go for college or school after that, but we're all together there in the morning. So you sort of like develop this sense of family and friend with the brother monks as well.
this is what you feel that having Ishmael and you think you start to have self-observation for every meal you eat?
So I would say like kind of yes and no, right? Because I think in general, even like before I was a monk, I'm very like disciplined in how I eat, right? So not only like am I getting proper nutritions with vegetables, meats, carbs, all the different groups, but also like am I you know the point that at which I'm full, like I'm full, like there's no more eating, right? You like no matter like how delicious the food in front is. So I would say like yes and no in a way. I think one thing I'm not used to is having such a large variety of food, right?
Okay.
Like sometimes like at our meals, like there's so many different dishes and sort of balancing that's pretty unique for me.
All right.
Yeah.